Welcome back to Point Blank. You're on the topic, we are on the topic.
Of blogs.
Yeah, on blogs. But before we continue, let's take a quick look at our web comments. Kaya says she can't understand all our Chinese parts. She says you should try to include subtitles. And whatever geek seems to agree resoundingly, yes, we need English subtitles. Well, thanks for your comments and your suggestions. We'll definitely be looking into it, but for the record, we just, we believe in a bilingual Singapore. We believe in a bilingual show. So we have quite a good mix of guests in our studio today.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have Kenny, who actually blogs in Chinese.
Yeah, and keeping in the spirit of Oh My, we've gone bilingual today, so...
Yeah.
I don't understand Chinese. Okay, there you go. My director told me to say that. Yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. Definitely. And you don't really speak
Zoe looks a bit lost too.
Yeah, so we're managing pretty well for the past almost 1 hour, which goes to show we are running short on time.
Evon is the medium. Okay.
I'm the conduit. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, are you behind on the cyber curve when it comes to blogs and not sure what is bloggable or what is not?
The RazorTV team spoke to a technology lawyer to get some tips on how you can steer clear of the law when you blog.
That's right. These are tips to stay out of jail. Check it out.
You should.
So you still want to blog? Perhaps it's time to get some tips to see whether you can actually navigate that blog safely. Well, Brian has actually his own blog, and it deals with tech legal issues. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
I understand you've been blogging for about a year. Can you tell us what are good tips for blogging newbies to stay clear of the law or problems with their company?
I think firstly, always read what you have written. A lot of bloggers would just fire off and they would just leave whatever they've written there on the first pass. When bloggers actually go back and read what they've written, sometimes they say, did I actually write that? And that really helps you self-moderate your own blogs so that you really convey the correct message that you want to get across and not really a message that gets you into trouble later. If you have information that's confidential, either it belongs to your company or it's private information belong to someone else, you should keep that out of your blog. So if it's confidential, keep it out.
What if you're not sure it's confidential?
Well, as the saying goes, when in doubt, keep it out.
Okay, confidentials out. So what else in tip 3?
Okay, in tip 3 we will say that if information is untrue, then keep away from it. It has got no place in your blog. Untrue information is a falsehood. Keep it out of the blog.
What if you know it to be true?
If you know it to be true, then you can write it with full confidence. But very often, the truth is in a really one person's perspective, right? So you got to make sure that it is really true.
Now, those who've been naughty on blogs, I'm sure settling out of court would be something that they hoped for rather than be saddled with a huge suit. So coming to that, for those who want to stay clear of court, what is tip 4?
I think for tip 4, we'll say this. If what you have to say is controversial, then you want to handle it with care. You want to handle it with a 20-foot pole.
What's absolutely salacious that you've heard people do that you'd advise people to really stay away from it, like 2 continents away?
Well, a really salacious piece of information would be one alleging infidelity between people. So you want to really be absolutely careful before you launch into something like that. And for tip 5, we'll say that if your grandmother doesn't approve of it, then you shouldn't be engaging in it either.
So what won't your grandmother approve?
Well, I think my grandmother wouldn't approve something like, I think she's put on 20 pounds. So that kind of statement, if grandma's not okay with it, somebody out there is not going to be okay with it either. With hyperlinking, it allows someone to publicize your site without you even knowing, and very easily, because you are then just one click away from other people. And the tendency again is, if you make ordinary comments, that wouldn't attract attention. But if you make comments which are out of the ordinary, and these tend to be the more controversial, the more on the edge type comments, other people will say, hey, read what this guy says, and they hyperlink this on their site, and this goes on and goes on. Before you know it, a lot of people are drawing to your site because they've read it somewhere else.
So what do you guys think of the tips?
Sorry.
From you?
Useful or not?
Yeah, actually I do tip number 1. I actually follow tip number 1. I do read through my posts after I write them like 3-4 times to make sure I didn't offend
Screening.
anybody.
Yeah.
So it's tip 1 for you. How about you, Kenny? 哪一个比较适合？
我没有听到完啦，我只是自己知道写自己的事情比较 safe 啦，不要写别人的啦，
不要多管闲事的那些东西。
写别人也不要写名字，写名字也要写假的名字。
That's tip number 6. 写名字写假的名字。Okay.
For me, I believe in the Spider-Man tagline, which is with great power come great responsibility. So if you view your blog as something that has power and so on, you have to be responsible for what you say and what you publish on your blog.
Well, the power of the written word and the power of the internet. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for being on our show tonight. That's all we have for you tonight. But before we leave you, here's our Razorism of the day, which is 要写别人的坏事要讲名字。
Use a fake name.
Yeah, use
so
a fake
thank
name.
you for joining us tonight.
And we've enjoyed being point blank with you.
But don't go away because news is up next with Razor's Top 5.